catch my horse.
What for?
So I can work it.
So many times people have reached out to me saying, hey, I'm creating some content, but it's not getting traction because I need to get better at production. I don't know how to do fancy editing. I don't know how to do graphic motion. Well, what if you actually have already everything you need to be successful, creating content, creating a magnetic brand, being who you are? You don't need anything of that. Today I want to share with you the story of a YouTube channel, a fellow creator, and his content is fascinating. His name is Dwayne, has a school called Dry Creek Wrangler School, and today's video is going to be a little bit about his journey. This is a video that is actually not in his main channel, but rather in the channel of his wife. He called it Mama, the mama of the Dry Creek Wrangler School. And this is the story of a real cowboy that started creating content for his grandchild. So he had this desire to create content, to have a legacy for his family. And along the way, he started sharing some wisdom and creating what he called the cigar videos. And those are the conversations that got traction. That is the way I found the channel, a video called You Shouldn't Have Your Shit Together or something like that. So it's kind of a reflection about life, and it's fascinating. So I hope you enjoy the video. If at any point you enjoy what you are listening, just subscribe, give it a like, that helps a lot. And I hope you enjoy. I will be sharing some thoughts. Enjoy the video together.
No, Mouse. No. We're gonna work this morning. Dad says we're gonna work this morning. There, honey, I helped you catch your horse. What would you do without me?
Crumble up and die.
You'd have been walking all over these hills trying to catch that horse this morning if it weren't for me.
Absolutely.
Give me a tidbit. Why do you use a rope halter versus a, what are the other ones called?
Web halter?
Web halter.
Because the web halter is wide,
Yep.
and they can learn to lay against it. With these knots and this thin rope, they become more responsive, and they don't get lazy and just lay against that.
Oh, very good.
The other thing is, these are all hand tied. This is all one piece of rope. Everything is just one piece of rope, so there's no hardware. So you get a horse that pulls back and fights, there's nothing to break. This won't break.
Oh.
If a horse sets back against a halter and breaks a snap or the brass ring or anything, it learns immediately, hey, I can do that. And then it don't take once or twice, and then it's in the habit, and that's a really hard habit to break. But they pull back against this, they accomplish nothing. And it doesn't encourage that habit. It's good to groom them, but there's some things that I used to do that I don't do anymore when I groom my horses. And I don't recommend anybody does. Now, when he starts shedding and all his winter hair is gone and I want to clean him up, I'll come in here and I'll just kind of trim these whiskers off. It doesn't make a difference. But I do not shave the whiskers off of his nose. Okay? These little whiskers up here, I don't shave them, and I don't recommend anybody does. Those are very delicate. The horse is tactile. This is a blind spot. So he explores his world here, and these whiskers are like little antennae that help him explore the world. And when you shave them off, that's just one more thing that's gone. Now I'll clean these just to trim him up, make him look good. The other thing I won't do is I don't ever shave out their ears. Now where he's got this sticking out past his ears, I might, when it's time to clean him, I might come in here and just clean that. But I leave all this in here. I'll trim it so it's not sticking out here like an old man's ear hair. But I won't, because that protects the inside of his ear from flies and gnats and bees and stuff. And that's in there for a reason. So I don't
Yeah.
I don't shave the inside of his ears out. And one thing I don't normally do that I probably will do on him this year eventually, back over here and be still and quit. I know all the horses are over there. Is I might cut a bridle path for him. Not a real common thing in cowboy horses, I guess, working horses. But he has such a obnoxiously thick mane that it just really gets tangled up in the way with the headstall. So eventually later I may cut a short bridle path in here. I don't normally do it, but I might with him. I hadn't decided yet.
I believe one of the beautiful things about being authentic and just who you are is that you can bring people close to your hobbies. So many people ask themselves what to create content about because what I like maybe is not something that people may like. And I often talk about that sweet spot where you can enter into a highway of traffic because you are talking about something that is interesting to you, and maybe it's not a core thing of you, but it's something that, for example, in the case of Dwayne, he talked about the cigar videos, like the philosophy videos, and those are the videos that bring most of the traffic. The first video I found of him, I think it is titled along the lines of "You shouldn't have your shit together" or something like that. And he was talking about like men loneliness and kind of the expectations of society. And it's a very popular video. I actually believe it's the most popular video of Dry Creek Wrangler School channel. And once you enter to the ecosystem of the creator and you get magnetized by how genuine that person is and that creator as a human being, as a person, then you are comfortable exploring his whole universe or her whole universe, the creator's universe. And in the case of Dwayne, I know for a fact because a lot of my friends also consume his content. We are drawn to his ecosystem because he is kind of an icon of men values, like traditional values. Is kind of like a wise uncle, like a father figure for many. So once you accept what it represents, then you happily can explore his ecosystem and who he is as a person.
What's your plan right now?
I'm gonna let him stand there for a minute and soak. Then we're gonna go in the round pen. I'm gonna lunge him for a little bit, get his mind started back on me. Then I'm gonna ride him in the round pen and get him back to where he's listening. Just knowing horses and knowing him, I expect that he will not be as resistant to me because he knows me. And he knows he'll not get away with as much with me as he would with Shelby. A lot of these experienced, veteran, smart horses, like I've said before, they're like a kid with a new babysitter. You know, it's like that they know when they go to grandma's house or when they're home with mama, which one lets them get away with more. And or when they're out spending the day with dad versus out spending the day with mama, they behave totally different. They know. And the horses are the same way. They know. And so he will be sluggish with me, lazy and a bit resistant, but he won't be as bad with me as he would with Shelby.
Yeah.
Or with you. And he's not, I need to reiterate this, he's not wild. You know, it's not his rebellion is not bucking, it's not trying to run you under a tree. He's just not responsive.
One of the things I love about Dwayne is that ability to talk about horsemanship, but then using an analogy and connecting people listening. It's that beautiful art of storytelling and connecting people with very interesting and deep philosophical concepts in an easy way that every single person listening can relate to. And that's a beautiful thing. Talking about Dwayne, from the monetary point of view, most of his life has been kind of struggling, middle class, maybe even middle to lower class. And then sharing videos on YouTube, thinking about his grandchilds. And just with that genuine heart, sharing his knowledge, his wisdom, people start coming to his channel, and now his channel is almost 1.2 million or something like that, with basically zero type of edition, just a phone and talking directly with it, without any type of fancy thing. And people appreciate when you are open, genuine, and you have something to share with people that is valuable by itself, rather than the production of their entertainment value that you can add up into the product. If we focus on being who we are and the best version of who we can become, eventually we will have the opportunity to thrive. It may take decades to succeed from one day to another. In the sense, this old fellow, Dwayne, has been into horsemanship, has been also like a security agent or something like that. And all of those experiences are the ones that build the character of the man that people now listen to. And because of that, in a year or so, his life radically changed. But not because he started just creating content or because he started publishing videos today, but because during decades, 40, 50 years, he has been building the person that now can share the wisdom and have authority. I truly believe every single person is different, but that is an evergreen concept to have in mind. And when creating content is something very important to have also to factor into the equation. It's not about the content you create itself, that if you want to do it in the long term and you want to do it in such a way that you never feel burnt out, you just have to be authentic. But if the authentic person you are is not enough to attract or maybe to share what you know that you potentially can share with the world, maybe it's a moment to consider working on yourself. And Dwayne is a perfect example of that concept.
Talking about your trot the other day, my feet are not even in the stirrup. But if I sit up straight and I'm relaxed and I get in time with him, there's no bounce. Okay? When you push your feet in the stirrups, that's where you get your bounce. Or when you clench with your knees. But if you can set up and get in time and relax and move with his timing, that's how you sit the trot. Ooh. gotta relax. Now he's actually got the edge off of him. He's trotting a little nicer than he normally does. There he goes. Whoa. Nice. Come on. Nope. Nope. There it is. There it is. All right. So when you're trotting, if you carry weight in your stirrups or you clench with your knees, the horse comes up and you come up. All right? With each step. But when the horse drops, you've got a split second where you're suspended because you can't release that as fast as he drops. All right? So he comes up, you come up. You drop, he drops, and then you drop. That's exactly what it feels like, isn't it? But if you're relaxed on him and get in time, he comes up, you come up, he comes down, you come down. Because you're just sitting in the saddle. All right, you're not trying to create a suspension here because you cannot physically get in time with him suspended. When he drops, and then you're going to drop. And then when he drops, you're going to drop. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So it's relaxation.